And then once I was released, I had to do 10 years for bird education. If I just give me my commissary, I'm a buy.
Hello, and welcome to. I was having some audio problems. Y'all probably heard my conversation, a little bit of it, but I was messing around with this audio, and I think I have it correctly now. So I have been reading this book, and I am in love. I was telling my coworker about it, and I was telling her, I said, you know, this light is too close. I was telling her that I love this book so much because it actually resonates with me as a teacher. Like, I love books with student work and pictures. I love it. And oh, for some reason my little thing is unplugged. There we go. So hopefully you have been following along with me as I read this book. So if you haven't, I think in the section of the description, I left the link to chapters 1 and 3. And one thing I like about this book, it is an easy read. It is really actionable, and it's for you to take action. So I'm really pumped about it, because I even asked my principal to buy the 6 through 8 version for our department, because it is that good. And let me go back to chapter 2 before I share my screen. This is chapter 1. So let me go to chapter 3. Go ahead and share. Let me make this smaller so you all can see it. So with this book, I like it because it gives, and I don't know why on the second screen this thing always does that. As I make it bigger, it gets smaller. Like, it's weird, but oh well. So in chapter 3, because we talked about chapter 1 and 2, this is the big idea is subtraction within 1,000. Now, if you are a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and you don't use calculators, this is a issue. Like, this is a hard concept. I always, like my 5th graders, when I taught 5th grade, I always never really understood why they struggled with zeros. And in this chapter 3, they talk about the task, and the task was a graphic organizer. So if you're just tuning in today and you're just getting acclimated to, just kind of piquing your interest, we're talking about task. Now, I will next year be implementing more tasks into my classroom, because I am going to do like a modified version of project-based learning. Our standardized test is going to an open-ended model, and this is going to be really, really interesting. I have somebody texting me. So, I really am liking this book, because it gives you the what the students did and about the task. Let me go back. This is chapter 2. Where's my... Oh, okay. I'm skipping. Big idea to... Oh, here it is. So the Freyer model. And I use the Freyer model in my class all the time. I haven't done this in in secondary, but I was sharing with one of my colleagues about this, where this can be adapted to, this is K through 2, but it also can be done with addition. It can be done with fractions, because we have those conceptual models. But this task was real simple, but it gave a wealth of information. It said represent 755 minus 435. Show it on a number line, write an equation to show it with base 10 blocks, and show it part to whole. That is that bar model that we want our kids to show. Now, a lot of our children, especially gifted and talented kids, they don't like the conceptual models. They don't. And our kids that are struggling, our little struggling babies, they struggle with the conceptual part, which causes problems with the fluency part. So if you can use this really as an assessment as well, all you have to do is find a rubric and know what you're looking for. Now, he talks about what the students did. Like student 3. Student 3's work is unique because he offers a word problem instead of an equation. His word problem is a takeaway situation. It's possible that he doesn't know what an equation is. So it gives you information. If you're trying to find out if a child is fluent in something, it doesn't take a lot of problems for a child to work for you to really know if they're fluent with a concept. It says using evidence. So that is like your next steps. What will we want to ask these students? What might we want to do next? So I have a Math Intervention Academy. After I do this work, I would say, okay, we have the misconceptions. What could I do in intervention? That would be my next piece. So he talks about what the student did, and he talks about the next step. He does a narrow view of the student work, tells us he doesn't read or follow directions, but with a different perspective, we may see the signal he needs extension, enrichments, or other challenges. So however you want to do that, you could do it in intervention. You can do it in a different way. So moving on. Other tasks. He gives other tasks that you can do with this. Break apart, because they have these models in the K-2 curriculum. And one of the things is definitely, does the child follow directions? Because I know on standardized tests, I've had kids, and this is not funny, add another column to the griddable to make the number fit. Yeah. And no, they weren't in 3rd grade. And yes, it was above 4th grade. So I've had children do that. So in the book, they give you other tasks, which are great, because I know that we're always looking for things to do. This is a great thing that you can clone. I don't know if your district talks about cloning problems. You can clone problems from this. Just change the numbers, and then you have tasks that you can use. Big idea number 4, reasoning about subtraction. Now, most of you all who know me know that I got into this work because my son had a weakness in mathematical reasoning. He had an IEP in math, not on the fluency part, but reasoning about mathematics. It just did not connect for him. So this was reasoning about subtraction within 1,000, which it says the task 4A. Compare the subtraction expression in each row. Circle the expression that has the greatest difference. So I like the part of the book where he says anticipating student responses. If you don't anticipate those gaps that the children are going to have, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. And excuse me, it is hot. And I have these lights on, and they're LED lights, and they're making me sweat. So when I was a master teacher, they used to call this anticipating difficulties. And those are those common misconceptions. If you're a first-year teacher and you don't know the common misconceptions, collaborate with a teacher that has been teaching these concepts for a very long time. Collaborate to find out what to look for. And some people call them look-fors. But if you are not anticipating some difficulties with the task, what you'll find out is that all of these things are coming out, and you're like, I didn't know that but you have to look at, okay, what will the children struggle with? I know my students, they had a hard time subtracting across zeros, where it was like numbers 808, 808. And they had trouble with not understanding that like 8,000 minus 299, all you had to do was take that 100 from 800 and make it, you know, a lot of my students struggle with that. So you have to anticipate what the student responses are. So he says flawed reasoning is also likely. For example, 850 minus 750 may be thought of as greater than 400 minus 200 because both the first minuend 850 and the subtrahend 750 are greater than those in the second expression. Let's look at some of the kids' work. So student number 1, 900 minus 580. And I like this because you still get to see the kids' fluency. It's really great. But then you also get to see their thinking. And student 2, it says in the second row, I use the algorithm for, oh, that's so cute, the algorithm for both the problem. Then I looked for the one that is the greatest number. So here's some other things in here. And it gives note, but this is a great, like, I'm like geeking out over this book. I know that's like a nerd thing, but I really am. I love, love, love this book because it gives me so many ideas. And it also helps me to see, like when I have kids and I teach 8th grade. So this is relevant. And that's why I tell teachers in my Math Intervention Academy, math intervention has no grade level. You follow the deficit areas and let your data guide you in intervention. So when they say, well, is this for elementary? Well, it's for people or students that struggle with math. Whether you're in high school, you're not going to use an on grade level TEK because that's not intervention, that's remediation. So you're going to have to go beneath where the student's grade placement is. And sometimes it's not even middle school. I know for me last year, I was teaching and finding and closing gaps anywhere from 4th grade to 7th grade because my students fluctuated and they were missing skills. I'm sure they were missing it from before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, this was the gaps. They were that big. So this is pre-pandemic, this is post-pandemic. So not only did they have gaps, they were missing instruction, and it was difficult. You cannot move kids without going back to pull them forward. And I'm not saying teach them the whole curriculum. You have to plug the gap, and minding the gap will give you some ideas of tasks that you can use. As I was looking through this, some of, teachers ask me all the time, well, what do you use as an assessment? You can use one of these tasks as an assessment. Don't make your work hard as an interventionist or even as a math teacher that's providing intervention. You don't have to have a tool where the kids work problems. Give them a task. Let that be your guide. And it's a real true guide. Now, I'm not saying for your progress monitoring, and you can bring it out again and give it over again. And that's what really progress monitoring. There is not a standard for intervention. It's what gives you the most data on your student. And in one of these tasks, and I think I'm going to try it and see where my students are when I have to find out what level they're on to see what they can actually do. Because some of those electronic and online platforms, it masks the deficits that the students have. It really does. So if you're purchasing this book and you want an authentic assessment, try out one of these tasks. It's really great. So I'm going to end this live stream in about a couple of minutes. But if you have you're reading the book or you like something that I said, definitely leave it in the comment section. And if you're reading the book, what do you like most about this book? Because I really love it. I love that it's practical and it's easy to follow. And it also gives examples of student work. And not just student work from the highest level kids. It gives you student work from each level of students. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this book? And if you're going to use it, tell me how you're going to use it in your classroom. So I will see you all next week, probably Thursday again, for chapters 5 and 6, which are decimal concepts and my my favorite, addition with subtraction with fractions. So can't wait to get into that. So I will see you all next week. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section, and you all have a great evening. If you're already at school, poor you. If you're still on your break, yay! Enjoy it because it's coming to an end quickly. See y'all next week. Bye-bye.